listening to Two Vatos Talking, a podcast discussing life's challenges and blessings with the goal to create an uplifting community for men. We're your co-hosts, Eduardo and Spencer.
Finally, I'm starting to get to know myself a little better.
Yeah.
And in a way, like I said, in a way, it's bittersweet.
Yeah.
How
so?
Well, I encouraged you, and you were going to do it anyway, but I encouraged you to go watch the Odyssey, right?
Oh, yeah.
I just watched it last week. Christopher Nolan's version of the Odyssey, and I've read bits and pieces, and I'm reading it right now. It's a challenging read. It's a long movie. Man, it's a long movie. 2 hours and 45 minutes, but it's really good.
I thought it was great.
Matt Damon's a star, obviously, and there's other big names in there. There's all this action going on, and basically, you know, here's a guy that has to go off to war. He doesn't really see a choice.
Yeah.
He's gone for like 20 years. Part of that time is, you know, he's stuck on the beach over there near Troy, and he's the guy that invents the Trojan horse.
Yeah.
So they can get into the gates of this impenetrable castle. And once he's in, he regrets, you know, his invention because he sees all the damage that humans can do to each other. And so maybe to get away from that pain, instead of just going straight home, which most people would do, he's like, hey guys, let's go on an adventure and go a different route.
Yeah.
And they go through all these trials and tribulations, and it extends his stay away from home, his kind of self-exile, if you will. Gets back home 20 years. But on the way back, there's kind of like finally the turn in the movie where it's the catharsis. That's what they call that. It's like when he's able to release all of these emotions. Yeah. And he literally does. So he's going through a sort of strait of water, and it's in the ocean, but it's between like this little island and then these cliffs or something. And because he already spoke to this witch character, he knows what's going to happen. And he goes, hey, we're going to pass up this group, this island, and there's where the Sirens are at, right? Yeah. And Sirens are like these almost mermaid-like creatures that have this beautiful song that entice men, sailors, to just jump off the boat and start swimming towards them, drown, whatever, and then they get to the island and they die anyway, right? Yeah. And he needs to hear the song. Yeah. He has to hear the siren song, and so he tells his first mate, tie me to the mast.
Right.
So I can hear it. And everybody else, you guys put beeswax in your ears. Cover your ears up.
Yeah, he's protecting them.
Yeah, you don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
But I need to hear it. The movie does an excellent job because you kind of hear this song. It's this noise.
Just enough to let you know that it's happening.
But you feel like your ears are covered with the beeswax.
Yeah.
Because it's slightly muted. And you're rowing with this guys, right? But he's tied to the mast. And all of a sudden, he's just wailing. You can see him, right? One of the sailors, remember what happened to one sailor?
Yeah, he couldn't take it, so he takes a beeswax out.
Yeah.
And he friggin' jumps in the water and friggin' drowns.
Yeah, he just has to go.
Yeah, he couldn't resist the temptation.
Exactly. And then so finally, when they're through that canal, that area, his first mate asked him what was the song, right?
Once he got through it.
Yeah. And he's still obviously emotionally shooken up. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's a little long. But he said, what was the song about?
Yeah.
What did it tell you? And it says, it told you what you most want is what you most can't have. And that the most you can't have is what you already had and lost. It was a song of all the promises I failed to keep. And it told me I don't really want to go home.
Yeah.
And I think it really hit me. I think it hit a lot of people. I went that night by myself. I just had some time.
Yeah.
Later on, my daughter asked me, what'd you do this last night? Or I went to the movies. Oh, what'd you see? I saw the Odyssey. You went by yourself? I go, yeah. Well, why didn't you tell me? I go, well, you're always busy. You know,
yeah.
I'm not trying to make her feel bad, but you know, she's 19, going to be 20.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to see the movie. So I went. And it really hit me because of all the things that I've lost.
Yeah.
And you can't get them back.
Right.
For me, it's, and we'll get in more detail, but, you know, my daughters are just turned 23. My younger one's about to turn 20.
Yeah.
For those of you who know me and know about the podcast, maybe you've heard it. I don't know. I was married for technically 19 years.
Right.
Been divorced now, I think almost 4 years. So what I had was what most people dream of and work for and desire. And that's family.
Sure. Like a whole family, right?
Yeah.
Like we're talking pets, kids, house, 2-car garage, all that,
Yeah.
what you're told or what you see in the movies at least.
Yeah.
And so are you saying that you're like you had it? Would you go back to that if you had the chance with the same person?
Well, not in the current state.
Yeah.
But if I could travel back in time, yeah.
Yeah.
It was granted, I'm looking and with 20/20 vision goggles and rose-colored glasses, all that stuff, right?
Sure.
We got divorced for a reason. And this episode is not about blame
No,
or anything. So it turns out my ex has listened to this podcast.
Of course. Yeah.
Which I think is kind of interesting. This is not about who did what or whatever. This is not, it takes two. But the beautiful moments are just so beautiful.
Sure.
And when you have a family and you have 2 kids or 3, whatever, how many kids, and
right.
everybody's happy, at least you think they're happy, that's the highlight of, I think, and I'm not speaking for women or even all men.
Yeah.
I think that's the highlight of a man's life.
Sure.
What could be better?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to your point, right? So like, and I said this before, where there was the me before I had children, and then there was me after I had children. And up until I had children, I couldn't imagine life with kids of my own, right? Like I just couldn't. And it's like trying to tell somebody about like some beautiful painting you saw, and you just can't tell them. They just have to experience it. And even when I knew I was going to have a kid, this one coworker of mine, he had 4 children, right? And he was only like 27. He was so happy, right, that I was going to have a kid. And he just this big, giant grin on his face. And he's just like, bro, you're going to love it. He's all, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. And it just elated. And I would like look at him cross-eyed and I'm like, are you sure, man? Like, I don't know. What if I don't like it, right? And he just like looked at me like, bro, you're going to love it. And I was like, I just couldn't relate, right? But I'll tell you what, man, when that baby showed up, man, I was like, damn, bro. Like, it was like a light switch, just like boom. Like the previous version of you is what it was, and now this is your new role, And so for me, being a dad was huge, and I loved being a father. That was huge. To this day, it still brings me a lot of joy. But you just don't know, right? You just don't know until you're in it. And even I just was a non-believer, right? Like, really, you're going to marry somebody and give up all your freedom and give up all your money and give up all this, but you really don't, right? You just do it so willingly once you're in that situation. At least that's what it was for me.
Yeah, I had a similar feeling when both my daughters were born. But I remember, like the first one, because I didn't have any kids before, it was so surreal.
Yeah.
To be in that room and to see this other person come join you. And they're so helpless.
Oh, yeah.
And you hold them.
Yeah, fragile.
And it's just like, this is my daughter.
Yeah.
And it hits you in a place that you'll never know unless you've been there.
Yeah. That's why, to me, I don't know how there's men out there that don't connect with their kids like that, like absent father.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
I don't get it, right? Like, I literally just can't understand that,
I know people like that, and I don't want to meddle. I don't know what they've been through, and I don't know what's going on, and who am I? But it hurts me in a way.
Yeah.
Because I want to be like, hey, man.
You're missing out.
Try to reconnect.
Yeah.
It's going to be ugly and messy at first, but it's worth a shot.
Right.
And it's really worth it. Because there's nothing worse, I think, than regret.
Yeah.
And I think that's what that quote, those whole lines are all about too. Because he purposely leaves. I mean, he had to leave. He didn't have much choice because the movie goes through, here are my options. If I don't go to war, we're not going to ever escape.
Right.
He had to go. But did he have to be gone that long? No.
Yeah.
Could he have taken a shorter route? Absolutely. Yeah, it's painful to think that you're not going to be there for your family. Now, once again, this is not to make anyone feel bad, because I did get divorced, right?
Yeah.
And that was a choice that we both made, and it had to be made.
Yeah.
There was, I think, there was a lot of damage, and I didn't want to harm anybody anymore emotionally, right? And I never. Well, my parents were divorced too. It's that's a whole other story. But I didn't. I don't think I wanted my parents to get divorced, but I was so young, and I asked my daughters, thinking that they would say, "Oh no, let's stay." No, we want y'all to be divorced.
They didn't want you guys together either.
No, and that was painful.
Yeah.
Because I thought, man, was I that bad? Was it that bad of a space for them? And maybe it was at some points, which is also hurtful. So I think that goes into the second part of, when he says it's a song of all my broken promises.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, okay, what promises did I make? Whether I made them out loud, purposefully, or kind of in my heart.
Yeah.
And so I think about that, like with the marriage, we got married in a religious building. It wasn't a church, it was a chapel.
Yeah.
But we got married by a pastor, right? And you see all these huge, lofty promises in front of witnesses.
All your loved ones, yeah.
And God, right? And I felt like, and I still feel like this, like you can't break a bigger promise than that.
Yeah.
Because it's the death to his part, and we're both still alive,
right.
Thank God. But I'm like, man, I really broke a big promise there in front of all these people, a vow, if you will.
Right.
I know people do it all the time, but that felt like something to me because, I wanted to give my daughter something that I didn't have.
Yeah.
Now, they've never thrown it in my face, or they've never said this or that. In fact, they're both very loving, and even my younger one, we've done some trips post-divorce, not lately, but we've done some things. And she's like, hey, we want to go so-and-so. And I have my reservations, and I express them somewhat.
Yeah.
But I'm a little reserved with that reservation.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, we're still a family. And in my head, I say, well, not technically.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say anything to her.
Right.
So I just kind of nod my head and listen to her. So I feel like that's a big broken promise. And then when I think of if my daughter said, no, we're fine that you're divorced, but we think it's better, I think, well, I broke something there too.
Yeah.
And as a man, I feel like I've let people down.
Sure. And that's I think 100% natural way to feel, right? Like, I mean, if you're going to go in and say those vows in front of God and everybody that you love, yeah, you're not saying it half-ass, right? You're saying it full-heartedly, and so flash forward all those years later, it's not like that was the plan to be miserable or whatever your situation was. I mean, it's life. You know, it's life. I'm not making light of it.
No, I know you're not.
And I'm not saying the stats. I heard some stupid stat where it was like 50% end up divorced. Mm-hmm. Well, those 50% that stay together, like 50% of them are absolutely miserable,
Yeah. I mean, you got those gray divorces or silver divorces. Who wants to get divorced when you're 70 or 80?
Yeah, yeah.
Because you were miserable for 40 years of your life.
I've seen that too, right? Yeah. I've seen that too where people stay together for whatever reason, and then they die, and they were miserable.
Right.
And it's like, golly, man, I mean, I went through the same struggles. However, I try not to dwell on the past, It was really hard for me to like pull the trigger and make that decision, and like for all those unfortunate stars to line up to actually make that decision, which kind of kept me there for a long time. And part of the thing for me was fear, right? Just fear of the unknown. And I think that's been a big driver in my life, just fear, period. Whether it's fear of getting sick, fear of getting hurt, fear of breaking hearts, fear of breaking the family, fear of moving on, getting a different job. Just, I think for me, that's been a big driving factor of like fear. So sometimes fear for me kept me from doing stuff. Fear kept me from trying different things, really go all in with the business instead of half-ass part-time. Just stuff like that. But I think for me, an underlying thing was fear.
And before I follow up with my thought here, I just want our listeners to know this is not a, woe is me episode.
Yeah.
This is Eduardo and I trying to show some vulnerability and have conversations, because in order for us to get past some of this stuff, we got to express it. We got to share it, because if not, then
we can't be the only ones.
Then you wallow in it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious, because you don't strike me as fearful, but I think you're successful. You're educated. You got great kids. What do you think that fear came from in your life? What do you think?
Oh, my childhood, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, money was a big thing for me, right? I always thought having money would be the cure to a bunch of things. I talked about being poor and like we just didn't have any money. But you don't really understand how much that really affects your life, right? Like the relationships you're going to have, the friendships that you're going to have, the parties you get invited to or don't get invited to. You don't have money for clothes. You're not going to have money for a birthday gift, right? So I didn't get invited to a lot of birthday parties growing up. I look at my kids, how they, like, we would invite all these kids, never had birthday parties, just stuff like that.
You never had a birthday party?
I think two of them that I can remember, but there was 7 of us on a janitor salary.
Yeah.
It was like, go call a neighborhood kid and we'll, they were never parties like Peter Piper Pizza or put balloons up and all that shit. Like, no, it just wasn't, In fact, as an adult, my ex did a really good job of really doing parties up for the kids. Like, she would go all out. And I would just kind of like support everything, right? I'd be like,
it was new to you.
I couldn't relate.
Yeah.
I really couldn't.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, we got to do candy bags and a piñata and this and that. And it was just a whole laundry list of stuff. And I'm like, too easy. Like, let's just go do it. Right?
Yeah.
Get the venue, get the hall, make the reservations, and then I would make invitations. I mean, I never had any of that, and I'm not bitter about it. I'm just, matter of factly,
it was just a fact of life.
It was just a fact of life, But then going back to the fear part, it was like, it sucks not having money, right?
Yeah.
Like, it really sucks.
And it's one thing if you're kind of poor or working class and you've got one sibling, 2 siblings.
Yeah.
There's 7 of y'all, and then you took in your nephew, so it's 8.
Yeah.
There's just not enough to go around.
No. And it wasn't, well, I do remember just being hungry, like literal hunger, and then being hot, right? Because it was so damn hot in the summers. And I think those resonate more because we didn't have the free lunches, and they didn't give free lunches during the summers like they do now.
Right.
So when we don't have free lunches, then who's going to feed us, right? The food was really thin, food was really thin during the summers. So I just really like, there's not a lot of options, right? So I really thank God that like my mom was not on the street trying to go party, trying to, badmouth my dad and hang out with the neighbors and invite people over. Man, my mom was just the rock, she was there always cleaning, cooking, doing dishes, like constantly. Our lives would have been totally different if she hadn't been like that. If she would have been like the selfish person I was in my 20s, no way. Like, where would we be? Who knows?
So the fear comes from that poverty of not having, and you feel like maybe you're just one mess up away from going back to that?
Well, I mean, I'm a creative guy, right?
Yeah.
I work for the government. Like, that's not the most creative outlet. That's not creative, the most creative place to be, if I'm going to be honest. So there was fear of like I'm not going to pass up a good paying job to go live in New York and get paid crap, but do cool stuff.
Right.
And then I couldn't even picture it, right? I had no resources, I had no connections, and it would have just been a gamble. So I guess that's to say, like, in my career path, I kind of took once I got a good job, I was like, I'm not going to let this one go, even I'll take it a step further. When I turned down a couple of good job opportunities to move to like DC, I turned one down to move to Cuba, and so it just didn't work out for me. And so I think there was those kind of decisions where I just was like, I'm not going to leave my parents because they're just too old and nobody's going to be here to take care of them,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So fear of like, what's going to happen to my parents if I leave?
Mm-hmm.
They're in their 80s and, hey, see you later, dad. You know, see you later, mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to go chase money, you know? I could have, and I know a lot of people that do that. I think I would have been making a lot more money. You know, would I have been happier? I don't know. It's always nice to make more money. But do I regret staying in El Paso to like take care of my parents? Not one single bit. So there's a lot of like reflecting on like the decisions you make.
Yeah.
I think fear for me has been an underlying motivator
Mm-hmm.
to keep the course I'm going, whether it was stay in college and hopefully it's, you know, gambling, it's going to pay off for me. Stay in the job that I have because it's a secure job. You know, I haven't missed a paycheck, you know, in 22 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Every 2 weeks I get paid.
Right.
I know people that bounce around job to job all the time. Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
I just can't do that, you know?
Yeah, it makes sense, your decision making. And I'm curious, and this might seem superficial, but for the listeners, just hang on with me for a moment. Do you know about the 5 languages of love?
A little bit.
Do you know what your love language is, what you like to receive or feel?
No, I don't know it well enough like
that. You can look it up
Yeah.
right now because I'll forget them all. It's physical touch. So someone who likes to be touched, you know, massaged,
yeah,
whatever.
It's your love languages, right?
The 5 languages of love, yeah.
Okay.
Physical touch. There's also gift giving. So if you like to receive gifts, you know, any kind of gift. There's acts of service. So you like people to do things for you, to help you with things.
Yeah.
There's quality time. So obviously spending time together, doing things. And there's one more.
Words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation. I should know that because mine is words of affirmation.
Is it?
I love not just anybody, but the person I'm interested in.
Yeah.
For them to notice me, the work I'm doing, and to express that they're proud of me.
Yeah.
And show it with words, and it really means a lot to me.
Do you think that goes back to your childhood?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I used to think, oh, it's my love language, right? And then the second one would be physical touch. And I never put things together until this last year, maybe in the last 6 months, even maybe in some cases, a few months.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why do I like that?
Yeah.
And I was reading some other things, and I was thinking about stories because I'm a storyteller and what people would tell me. And I guess my ex-wife had heard from my mom or somebody that, oh, yeah, Spencer was a big crybaby when you were little.
Yeah.
And she'd kind of make fun of me. And I'm like, okay. I don't even know what I was crying about.
Right.
But then it was like, well, when would this happen? Well, my parents were working.
Yeah.
My dad was a mailman, worked, and my mom had to work. That's just the way it was. So she was either a secretary of some sort. That was most of the work she did when she was younger.
Yeah.
And so from a young age, either one of my grandmas took care of me. Like my dad's mom was not the most loving person. So I don't know what that was like, but I was just dropped off, right? And then later on, it was at my tia Licha's house because, you know, she didn't have a job and she would take care of me. And my cousin Roger and Ruben, they lived there and they were a little older than me. So it's kind of like they were like almost like a brother to me, or at least Roger. And they would do this thing, and I was like, I remember, this is kind of a side note, but a friend of ours was dropping off her kid somewhere, and I was like, she was like 3, and I was like, okay, do you want us to distract her while you leave? She says, what for? Like, what are you talking about? That way she doesn't cry. She's not going to cry. I'm just going to tell her Mom is leaving for a little while.
She was used to it.
And I'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, she used a very adult, mature way to take care of it. For some reason, they would trick me every time.
Oh,
Roger would like, hey, let's go play. And they're like, okay, let's go play with your new toy soldiers. And then I'd run back a few minutes later and show my mom something, and she'd be gone. And I'm like, what happened? Where'd my mom go? And I'm like 3, 4. And she's like, oh, she had to go to work. So I knew I wouldn't see her for the whole day. And I started crying, right?
Right.
And, you know, that's normal. It's normal. But I think because they're always so busy and occupied that I missed a lot of time.
Yeah.
And so I like that closeness from my loved ones, particularly the people that I'm closest to.
Right.
Which is words of affirmation, like, hey, you're doing great.
Yeah.
And not just I love you, but they notice me. And then the physical touch is they're there and I can feel their connection, their physical connection. That's why I like dance so much. I love the physical connection, even with people I don't even know.
Yeah.
And so I asked you that because, I've known you now for a while and I try to pay attention. And you said you don't know, out of those 5, I'm going to guess one of yours is gift giving.
Really?
And maybe, and you just told me about you didn't have much birthdays, so you didn't get a lot of gifts.
Right.
And you're not materialistic, so don't take this wrong way and listen. But you like stuff.
I do.
You bought this great podcast equipment, right?
Yeah.
You got this cool Star Wars stuff. You like things of quality.
Sure.
And maybe because you were handed down everything that you practically had as a kid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you didn't get nice things.
Well, that, and I learned a lot of lessons by buying cheap, like shoes. Like shoes, man. Like, don't buy cheap shoes.
No. Exactly.
So I mean,
you paid el codo paga doble.
Triple.
Right? The cheapskate pays twice.
Yeah, at least.
Because he buys the cheap crap, and then he's got to wind up, well, you're right, 3 times, because then he's got to go back to the store and get the real deal.
Yeah.
And he bought it twice.
Oh, yeah. And it goes with home repairs. Or,
absolutely.
Vehicles.
Cars, yeah.
Maintenance on a vehicle.
Food, we don't buy twice, but you pay for it in a way.
You're going to pay for it, yeah.
You're going to pay for the cheap food.
So I don't know if I'd go with the receiving gifts. I could see how you could relate that because of the birthdays.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
I think for me, it's more quality time.
Quality time, okay.
I think, I don't know. I like the physical touch too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really important. Mm-hmm. Like I like getting hugs and kisses, like from my daughter, even from my son, nice hugs and stuff. So I think probably a combination between quality time and and the physical touch.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. But I think when I learned about those, I was like, oh, that's just what you like. But when you start delving into them more and you start thinking the why, why do I like these things? Why are they important to me? And you start thinking about your childhood, sometimes your traumas. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, I was really lacking that.
Right.
And I need it.
Yeah.
I still need it. Still want it.
But so like going back to my mom, so like my mom was just always at home, just always. And there's a lot to be said about that.
Absolutely.
I can remember the times that I would come home and she wasn't there. And it was like, she was out at shopping or doing some errands or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. She wasn't out having fun. She was out like at a store doing something with one of my siblings 95% of the time.
Right.
And that anchor, I think that she was, like all of my siblings all had, I know they have that inside of them, so I see that in them too, because they're there for their families. They're there, they're supporting their kids. They're, doing all the things that I'm trying to do, with my kids. If she hadn't have been like that, because my dad wasn't like that, right? My dad was always out, right? He was always out drinking. He was always out at bar. He was doing something. Even when he stopped drinking, he was still at bars.
And no one told him anything, probably.
No, who's going to tell him?
Yeah, right.
What are you going to tell him?
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's the old Mexicano way, like
the old Chicano way, right? Or the machismo, right. Like. But that was just what he did. And nobody questioned it. Nobody was like, I can't believe he's there again. My mom never badmouthed him, like, well, he's, where he's at, rolling her eyes. No, never. It was just like, no, that's where he's at. And we're like, yeah, that's where he's at. My mom for sure was a nurturer, for sure, 100%, right? And my dad was just kind of the provider, the figurehead. When he had to get involved, he would get involved. But, for the most part, he was just kind of a presence, so there was beauty at their final death, right? Because my mom was there for his death, and they died in the house that they built, right? So that sounds romantic, and it is, but man, there was a lot of pain there. I know my mom, it's kind of like having a baby. Like I've talked to women that they have a baby and they're just like, that was the most painful thing anybody could ever experience. And you just forget and then have another baby.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They said, well, let's have another.
Yeah.
At some point.
Let's have 5, right? It's like, damn. And so like my mom, I think like she paid all those sacrifices, and at the end, when my dad died a couple years before her, she had nothing but good things to say about him. Mm-hmm. Like all those other bad things that happened to her between him and them, between them two, like they never happened, right? And it was just and that was just who she was, right? She just focused on the good stuff.
That's really impressive, and that's not many people can do that.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like, so I try to be like that, although I'm not, right? But if my mom was a different kind of person, you know, maybe I would have had 3 stepdads or some shit, you know, and lived in a foster home or some shit. I mean, who knows? You know, I mean, 7 kids, we're all migrant children, basically, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, and we had no family here either. So my mom was it.
Yeah.
You know, we wouldn't have a Thea to go to, you know.
Statistically, you guys accomplished a lot.
Crazy, right?
And yeah, you broke a lot of statistics.
Well, and I think we could have done a lot better, honestly. Like, I really do, right? Now, I'm not going to dwell on that, but one of those fear things is like, I should have doubled down more, right? I should have bought more property. I should have been more aggressive in the jobs I got, right? I should have been more this. And, you know, I would have had 20 homes, right? I would have had 5 cars, you know, and they would have all been paid off, you know. You know, there's always that balance that I'm trying to strike, but you know, I was trying to balance my kids, myself, and then my parents. You know, my parents. I was here. My brother was here also, but between me and him, we're the only ones out of all the siblings to be here to provide for them in, you know, their last decade of life. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, there's a lot there.
Yeah.
And you've touched on it already, but I just want to make sure that you also share. But going back to that quote from the film The Odyssey, and then the Sirens song, is there anything that you've lost that you've had?
Well, let me ask you, because you mentioned it as the Sirens song. Yeah. And then you mentioned it in an actual song, like a literal song. So is that how you look at that? Because I look at it more metaphorically. But what do you?
Well, yes, it's certainly metaphoric, without a doubt. But I think that music is so powerful. Yeah. And before I even thought about this, I remember I was driving, I don't know, a couple years ago, post-divorce, and he's not my favorite musician, but I did like him, and it was Eddie Money. Yeah. Eddie Money was just like, didn't have the best voice. It was a little scratchy. Couldn't dance great, but he moved. Wore suits, you know, and didn't have the best look, but he had some songs that were, you know, that were good, catchy.
Yeah. He had several #1 hits, I think.
He had some good songs. Yeah. But it was, I was driving, and maybe I was in an emotional state, and it was like, I Want to Go Back, that song. It was like, I want to go back because I'm feeling so much older, but I can't go back, I know. And I was like in that period where it's post-divorce and I'm struggling, and I was like, man, hit me, right? It's like, yeah, I want to go back, but I know I can't go back. No. And I'm feeling so much older here and now. I'm older now than I was back then. And so it's metaphoric, but it's also, I think you don't have to be too philosophical about it either. It's what you most want is what you already had, and you gave it away. You lost it somehow. Chances are you gave it away. I don't mean you, but, you know, you impersonal. So that's what I was asking you. Yeah. If there was something that...
Like a song?
It could be a song, or just, is there something that you felt like you've lost and that you had? Or is there a broken promise that you feel like you've...
So I really try to... So, all right. So, like 7-8 years ago, I became a trained public affairs guy, right? Okay. And this really young captain, she started training me before I actually got the training, right? And then I was like telling her, like, hey, we're doing this and that. I was telling her some points that I was trying to make, and then it kept going back. I was like, well, remember we screwed this up like last month, well, for this month, I'm going to try to fix this. And then she looked at me and she's like, Ed, we're moving forward. We're not moving back. So let go of the past, right? Like, let go of last month. Like, bring up targets that we're doing now. Bring up points that we're doing now. And move forward. And that just stayed with me, right? Mm-hmm. Although I kind of lived like that, I think, for a long time. But when she put it like that, to me, I was like, yeah. It resonated with me. And it was like, yeah, we can't undo the past, right? We can't undo the past, whether you got your heart broken, whether you lost money, whether you made a bad business decision, shake it off and move on.
No, that's right? A great piece of advice. My great-grandmother, Simona, who I just mentioned earlier, I have her on a tape that I recorded when I was like 20-something. She was 90-something. And she was giving me advice, and whoever would be listening later, she knew. She was very wise.
Yeah.
In fact, I asked her if she was a curandera.
Yeah.
Because people would come in for medical and advice, right? And she said, no, soy buena samaritana. I'm a good Samaritan.
Okay.
They don't like to be called curanderos or curanderas. So she said, buena samaritana. And then she was later retelling the whole story of how she became a buena samaritana. But then she was giving me advice, and she said, and she had this beautiful accent. She lived many years in Arkansas, so it almost had this Creole sound to it. She would say, don't look back.
Yeah.
Look forward. The good Lord said, and it was reference to the Bible, don't look back. Look forward.
Yeah.
Now, the biblical references to Lot's wife when God demolishes Sodom and Gomorrah, and Lot's wife, the instructions were, don't look back. And she looked back, and she turned into a pillar of salt.
Yeah.
The idea is, doesn't mean you don't ever look back on your life. It means it's reference to sin. Like, don't go back to that life that you had.
Yeah.
And you wish you could still do it because it wasn't a good life for you.
Yeah.
Move forward. Positive life. But you can look at it a number of different ways. But I've always thought that was good too. So I know here I am dwelling on the past because I'm also an artist, and we wear our emotions on our sleeves oftentimes.
Sure.
And it's a way for me to process, to talk about things, but also because I do want to move forward. So I have to let these things go somehow, and that's through talking. And that's why I really enjoy talking with you, whether it's on the podcast or oftentimes off the podcast.
Sure.
Our friend Lucy, she probably gets a little too much questions from me in conversation, but
she loves it.
But she's a good sport, and so if she's listening at some point, I really appreciate her. Both of us have mentioned our therapists. We both seek therapy when we need to, and I see mine every 2 weeks generally. She's a social worker by trade, but she's very helpful because she helps me kind of stay focused on my tasks and what I need to do, and ask good questions. And she gives good advice. I appreciate her. She's older, and I like the people that are older because they're giving advice based off of, their studies, but also a whole life of experience.
The life experience, of course,
Yeah, and they know she knows how to talk to me,
sure,
which I appreciate.
So it takes a conscious effort to do that.
Yeah.
And it's real easy, like just for example, like getting my heart crushed by some girl I really had it bad for, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm talking high school.
I was going to say, you don't do that anymore.
No.
You're very guarded with your heart.
I am. I'm very guarded in a lot of things, and I'll touch on that right now. But like going back to my getting my heart crushed, broken. I was young, right? 17 and 18, and this great girl, great everything, right? And it didn't work out, but I still go back to that, right? And it was like I just had a hard time getting over it. And I'm talking, you could say it was puppy love or whatever, right? It resonated with me, and I had a hard time getting over it. And so I would write letters, and then burn them up and just do all sorts of stupid stuff. And then
that's stupid.
What it's therapeutic, right?
Right.
And then one day I got up and I just said, screw this, and I just got all her pictures and all her little gifts that she gave me and just tore them all up and just threw it away.
Wow.
And then, to me, after that, I was like, oh, all right, I'm good. Right?
Okay. And
then I just moved on. And
do you wish you had kept the pictures?
No regrets on that at all.
Okay.
Mm-mm. And I had another relationship in college, and that one was really great. It was really great. I thought I was going to find something like that again, and I just never have, probably never will. Again, but I'm never going to be 21 again.
Yeah,
right?
you're not that same Ed.
No, not at all.
Different Eduardo now.
Yeah. And so, you just kind of move forward, just move forward. And now I have like zero patience, right? Zero tolerance. And so either you're in or you're out. And I'm just like, I'll just move on.
Yeah.
Right. And it'll hurt. And I don't like bringing anybody's heart, but,
I don't either.
like who wants to?
You know me.
I know you now. And, but I'm not going to waste time, right? I'm not going to waste time on people who aren't investing time into me. And I'm not going to waste time on something that I'm not full in, or something that's bringing me too much chaos or too much stress. I'm just not, like who wants to do that? And so I've laid my hard rules about like what I'm going to do and who I'm going to do it with or whatever. So I live by the rule of like, it didn't work out as much as I liked this one person. I thought it was going to work out. And then I just kind of put it out of my head and then just move forward.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
It is hard to do.
It's probably made me jaded more than...
I'm the worst at... I don't know if I'm the worst, but I'm in the lower quarter of being able to move on when I really care for someone. And thinking about, I guess, what you had and lost, or what you want is what you already had. And we talked about this a little bit recently, you and I, but... So I was thinking about my love languages, and I used to have this kind of list, right? I would like, this is what I like this quality, and this quality, and this quality, and that quality, and I'd like for them to have all those qualities. And the list would change a little bit here and there, but for the most part, it was consistent. And then I met someone who, I don't know if they had a whole list or not, but I decided to move on.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel ready.
Yeah.
And other things, but mostly I felt like, no, I'm not ready to get serious.
Yeah.
I still need to be free and explore and have fun, whatever, even though I wasn't doing much, right? But it's the feeling.
Yeah. Well, that's what you were honestly going through, right? Like you just weren't ready for whatever reason, right? You don't need to justify it. It's just like,
And then I started really thinking about it and doing some stuff with my therapist, and she gave me some exercises. And some people might cringe at this. I even put some stuff in ChatGPT, but it was really helpful.
ChatGPT is freaking awesome, man.
I was like, wow. I felt like this person really knows me. It even thanked me for sharing almost, but I don't know. It felt like personal. And so...
Just don't order one of those female robots.
No,
right?
no, I'm not doing any of that. So it's not about... It basically broke it down for me, and it's like, you've really matured over this last, and it's like, it made me feel good. It was giving me words of affirmation, which is funny.
Are you going to buy it flowers and shit?
I don't know, man.
I'm talking about flowers for ChatGPT.
I know. I have to find out where to send them or what she likes, if it's a she. And it's not about the list. I'm finding out, not through Chat. I'm just putting it all together, all different clues. I'm putting it together. It's like, it's not about the list. It's how did that person make me feel?
Sure.
How did I feel around them?
Yeah.
And with this one person, I was like, man, I really felt safe.
Yeah.
I really felt like I could be myself.
Right.
And maybe that sounds cliche, but I've dated other women, and you're always putting on a face of some sort.
Right.
It's always, don't do this, don't do that in your head. Like, be careful and wait to call. There's like this whole game. And I didn't feel like that with this person. I really felt comfortable.
Yeah.
And I could be myself. And I really enjoyed who she was.
Yeah.
Like, she brought out sides of me that are hard to bring out.
Okay.
And I really appreciated.
Well, maybe that's what scared you. Maybe that's what turned you off. It's like, it's like I can't feel good, right? I can't feel good about this, and so you must be the problem because you're doing everything that's making me feel good. She touched on some nerves or something.
I don't know. I don't know. I have some ideas, but I don't know.
I saw you go through all of it, right? I mean, I witnessed it, and so it's like, bro, she's a great girl. Like, just what's the problem? But at the time, you were just animate, and you were literally triggered. Like, no, man. Like, no. I was like, okay, then.
Well, now it's a regret because I continued to date, and I'm like, no, it was her.
Yeah.
And
I'll ask you. We're not putting names out there. Or anything,
okay.
Right? Do you really think, like, if she just called you up a week from now, 2 weeks from now, and is like, hey, let's go get a drink?
Yeah.
You're like, hell yeah, let's go do it. You think you're ready to get back into that?
And that relationship?
Yeah.
Not to make fun of one of our friends, but I'd pull a JL.
Oh, you're good. What do you mean? You feel
I would be like, they'd be like, where's Spencer?
Yeah.
Look at me.
You just disappear and not say anything to anybody anymore.
Well, yeah.
All we would see is little hearts popping above your head and you out there.
I would definitely. Yeah, I would definitely go and you can't really start fresh, like zero, obviously, but I would do things different and be the man that I'm supposed to be and that I think I am and that I want to be.
Yeah.
Now, did that ship sail? The captain's like blowing his horn.
Yeah.
It may have sailed. I don't know. And if it did, I just have to be thankful for, getting to know someone and for allowing her in a way for the relationship allowing me to get to know myself.
Yeah.
It sucks that it takes a breakup to learn yourself, but yeah.
I see you struggling with this, right? And like to me, I'm like, bro, like you need to move on. And if she comes back, then she'll come back.
Yeah.
Right? But you'll lose a lot if you go back. Like if you continue to try to go back, like if you make your statement and tell her how you're feeling and maybe there's a possibility and just leave it at that.
Yeah.
If you go beyond that, then
I know. I think this whole thing happened as I watched that movie too.
Oh, maybe that's why that.
And I was like, that line hit me so hard, and that's why I said we need to do an episode on this.
Yeah. Oh, this is what it is. Okay.
I think it's that. I think it's my past failures. I think it's turning 54 soon.
Yeah.
I think my career has taken an unexpected, I wouldn't say turn, it just flatlined.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect that.
Sure.
After 20 years in a place that I've given a lot of time and energy to. And it's like,
well, you're talking about,
I know I'm successful. Like on paper, I'm successful.
Well, you're talking about a lot of deep things.
Yeah. I know on paper I'm successful, but I don't feel
I'm with you,
successful.
Brother. I'm with you. I mean, exactly, right? Like what does that even mean, right? Like what is success, right? Like on paper, but what does that mean?
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you're comparing who you are today, going to be 54 compared to who you were at 24, well, then, you're still the same person, although you have 30 years of experience now on you from 24. Your perspectives change, your expectations of yourself change. And that's kind of like where I was going, where like, I think if I would have been more aggressive, if I would have been more, more whatever, would that have made me a lot happier of a person, right? Like, would a nicer house, would that make me a better person?
Would it make you more fulfilled?
I don't know.
Because fulfillment is a little different than success.
Yeah.
In fact, it may be drastically different in some areas. So
maybe the fulfillment than success.
I think that's what I need to focus on.
Although I'll tell you this
fulfillment.
Much is and every time I've been single in my life, right? The more I focused on me, the more I attracted other people to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so like, I think a lot of people just need to look at that, whether that focus on you is like reading more books or, whatever, taking care of yourself, whatever. Yeah. That projects a lot versus the hungry person trying to find.
No, absolutely. And I know that. These are things that I know.
Yeah.
I think it's, once again, if I could blame it on something, it's the artist to me who to an extent enjoys the struggle.
Sure.
Who enjoys the pain.
Yeah.
I've got a painting that I had to buy, and I'm not a art collector. It was a pretty penny. And I saw it right away at a buddy's house, and I go, and his dad's the artist.
Okay.
His dad's a well-known Chicano artist.
Nice.
And I said, wow, that's a beautiful painting of Ernest Hemingway.
Oh, nice.
And it's kind of like, it's a little abstract.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, you can see it's Ernest Hemingway? I go, yeah. I could see him struggle in the writing.
Yeah.
I could see it. And he goes, well, if you ever want to buy it, let me know. I have different paintings of my dad's in my house, and I sell them. And I was like, how much? And he told me, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I did it.
Yeah.
And I still enjoy it very much, but I had it in a prominent spot in the first home I bought after my divorce. And I could just have a drink and just sit there and look at it.
Yeah.
And I felt so calm, so at peace.
Worth every penny.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But, for a while there, I was kind of homeless.
Yeah.
Literal and figurative.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I finally got my first place after my divorce and got some sticks of furniture and all that, like I put that right there, and it gave me peace.
Yeah. What else?
Art gave me peace.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I could totally see that, and I've seen a lot of like memes or whatever online on social media where it's like a man's piece, and it's like a mattress on the floor in the living room and a computer, right, and a lamp. That's about it, right? You got
one cup, one bowl, one spoon, one fork.
But he's living in peace.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, that's so, success, fulfillment. I mean, all those things, I think we're constantly trying to do that. I get a lot of happiness and a lot of joy from my children. And so you can't put a price on that. No. I always look at like the modest home that we grew up in and stuff. My mom never made money, but we have nothing but good memories of her, so you got to balance it all out. Are you money hungry? Are you like, whatever it is that you're trying to do? But at the end of the day, can you look yourself in the mirror and just be like happy with yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Think about a song that did it for you, like the Sirens song. But I'll say this for those who are once again listening, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm like, man, what's wrong with Spencer? He's down and out. I'm like, no, I'm fine.
Well, this is the conversations that we have.
Yeah.
Right? We're just having to be recording this.
I can't always be at Doug's or someplace and it's like happy Spencer. I'm a real guy with real emotions, and I think it's important to share those from time to time. Not a full blown out crying session. We're not going to do that.
We're not going to do that at all.
No, we're not going to do that.
In fact, next time we're doing tequila.
Okay.
Every 30 minutes or something like that.
So, is there a song that?
Yeah. So you mentioned that one song by Eddie Money. So there's one song I have here. It's called "Cherry Bomb" by John Mellencamp.
Oh, I love that song.
Do you?
That used to be one of my go-to songs for karaoke.
Was it really?
Yep.
So this song, it's great. I'm just going to read a couple of lines here. So in it, and it's all kind of coming of age kind of music.
Another kind of homegrown, scratchy voice, not professionally trained musician who just plays from the heart.
He's amazing. Yeah. And assembled a lot of musicians that wouldn't necessarily go together, right? Like a harmonica with electric guitar with just funky drum beats and stuff. So anyways, he's very eclectic. I was a huge fan of his. So this one, I'm just going to read a couple lines. So it's 17 has turned 35. I'm surprised that we're still living. If we've done any wrong, I hope that we're forgiven. Got a few kids of my own, and some days I still don't know what to do.
Oh, I hit you right now, didn't it? I could tell. How's the first? 17 just turned 35. Right. I'm surprised that we're still living.
And then got a few kids of my own and still don't know what to do.
What do you want to say about it? I can tell it hit you. Yeah, I love John Mellencamp. I love that song, Cherry Bomb. That's a great song. Great beat. It's good. It's sad as it is. It's a good dance song too.
I've never danced to.
Well,
John Mellencamp.
Not like couples, but just got a great beat to it. You could really dance to it.
Yeah. So and so we're talking 17 to 35, right? And the song,
right?
Dude, we're 54,
right?
And we still can't figure it out.
No.
Our kids are almost ready to have kids. Your kids.
Yeah, my good. I mean,
and we're still just trying to figure it out. And so when you read lyrics like this, it's like we're all going through some sort of something, right?
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen has awesome lyrics, man.
Definitely.
Awesome lyrics.
Yeah.
The one, there was one, where he's talking about picking up Wendy from her, front porch, and her dress is swinging, and they get in his car and just drive down the highway. And so I was reading the lyrics to my son, and it's talking about, revving the motor and heading down that highway and putting that small town behind us and this and that. And he's like, man, that's cool, and it's like, yeah, this was written 40 years ago,
Yeah.
But it still resonates because I think everybody wants to leave that small town, right? Everybody wants to go on and with the girl of their dreams and, just take on the world,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're talking about these songs that resonate, and they're 30, 40 songs. But when was the Odyssey first published?
Oh my gosh. Well, there's different iterations of it too.
Right, but I'm trying to look that up here right now. But it doesn't have a precise publication date. It's an oral tradition. So it's 8th or 17th century BCE, so BC, right?
Right.
So 800 years before Christ, the human condition always resonates.
Yeah. Well,
no matter when.
Yeah.
It's
that's what. Yeah, we're all the same human being. You know, like we all have the same. What is it? Like the same 5. You know, we all laugh, cry, feel joy, love. I mean, throughout the world.
Anger. Yeah.
Anger, and that doesn't change.
No.
You know, it doesn't matter if you're born in Japan or born in Australia or born in the U.S. You know, it's
or in 2026 or in our case 1972 or 7 or 8th century BC. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, and like Odysseus at the last of that line and the siren song told him, and you don't really want to go home.
No. Yeah. Well, one of the things that, again, I had, you know, I'm the youngest of 7, so I would see my brothers go to the army, and then they would come back, and they would say, "You never really come back home. You know, once you're gone, you never really come back home."
Right.
And I remember that just stuck with me, and I was like, "Okay, right." Like just as a kid, like you don't really understand what that means.
Yeah.
But then eventually you get to that point where you just leave, and you're not going to come back home.
I mean, that's the thing. You can't really go back home.
No.
And even though I said earlier, if I could, I'd go back when the girls were little, and that's why it's so important.
Well, see that's where you have to like dig deep, because you can't go back there first of all, and then like I'm trying to move forward, right?
Yeah,
move forward and make new whatever, like make new family, make new friendships, make new
memories.
Yeah, make new memories, make new career paths, whatever. But you can't dwell in it. Right?
No, absolutely not. And I think if you've got small kids or grandkids or whatever age they're at in their homes, particularly if they're home, you got to enjoy that moment, because that's the moment you got.
Yeah.
And just like you said, you know, whether you're younger or our age, or 70s or 80s, whatever, enjoy the day.
Yeah.
Enjoy that day.
Yeah. There's a quote in the Office. I was a big fan of The Office, and Michael says something like, "I wish we knew we were in the good old days when we were in the good old days." You know?
Yeah.
And so that's super true, right? Another stat one I read was we didn't realize the last time we went inside for our last game of kickball, right? Or the last game of baseball.
Yeah. And
that's true, but you don't know when that's going to happen. It just happened.
Yeah.
So I'm all about moving forward, trying to make new everything, because you'll just drive yourself crazy, just like in the Odyssey,
I think it can, but Odysseus knew, and he gave the instructions to his men: tie me to the mast.
Yeah.
And don't untie me.
Yeah.
No matter what I say or do.
Yeah.
I think that you have to confront some things in your life in order to move forward.
Well, so there's so much metaphor in that. Being tied to the mast, right? Being the leader, being the one that's going to suffer, right? And you could look at that as you as a father.
He's the captain of the ship.
Well, you as a father, right? Your kids don't know all the shit you put
No,
away.
they don't.
They don't.
And you don't even tell them.
You don't tell them. You endure it.
Yeah.
Right? You endure it. And
you tied yourself to the mast.
And tying yourself could be a shitty job, a shitty boss, a shitty diet, a shitty decision you made, and you just freaking suck it up and you take it, and you don't let your kids know, right? And
or you
just
buy
take
the
it.
cheap shoes, or you wear the shoes for 2, 3, 4 years because they need new shoes,
because they need the $200 pair of Nikes, right? Or whatever it was, right?
Or just the dress for the dance or whatever.
Yeah, and you'll drop the money too easy, right? But so that metaphor of like being tied to the mast, that's you. You're disciplined. You're disciplined to put in the work, and people watching you, the guys rowing the ship, looking at you, and you're covering their ears, protecting them.
Yeah.
As long as you get through that,
Yeah.
That, to me, it's just tremendously powerful. Now, the ones that get stuck and they listen to the sirens, right? And they listen, and they're literally hearing the siren tell them all the things you want to hear, right? It reminds me of those people that peaked in high school and could just never get past being the high school quarterback, right? Or they just live in that memory of like, man, I went to state, right? And I had a Letterman jacket. It's like, bro, that was a long time ago, right? Let's move on, you know? And people get like that. I've known people who've gone through a divorce and just are devastated, right? And can never get past it, right? No children attached, no nothing. Had their heart broken, had lost their house, lost whatever, and can't really get past it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, as a man, I think you just have to like suck it up and move on, you know, and get through it however you're going to get through it. But time's not going to wait for you, you know.
No. I think you and I have both been tied to the mast, and we made it through. Mil gracias to all those tuning in to TVT Bro Talk. And hey, vatos, remember, pónganse trucha. Arriba, pa' abajo, pa' frente, pa' lado. Arrímate, mamita, muévele un rato. Arriba, pa' abajo, pa' afuera, pa' centro. Este es el tiempo, este es el momento.